Hey there guys, what's up? It's JP here and I'm back with another Hearthstone Daily Quest video. Now I do apologize for the lack of content over the past 2 weeks. I have been really busy, so we're gonna do our daily quest here. I've already started on some of this here. It's win 3 games and win 7 games in any mode here. So I've been playing around with a prototype priest deck here. As you can tell, it's the Dragon Priest. So I'm not gonna hit the ladder, I just can't be bothered. Just because of how weird the ladder is nowadays. Everybody's kind of just figuring things out here, so let me just apply this. But yeah, I'll be back really soon with the movie reviews as well as more of the heroic boss modes, which I have not touched yet actually. But I've done the normal mode and the class challenges. Alright, so this is the Dragon Priest deck. And I think I want to keep Valen's Chosen here against the Paladin. Shadow of Death's not great. Alright. I think I am gonna put this down. Ideally he just plays a dude, but if he plays shielded mage bot, I'm okay with that too. Get a card draw and then okay, so this is a problem here. So we're just gonna go ahead and buff this up. This looks like some kind of dragon paladin. I haven't been playing much, so I can't tell you exactly what decks are running around, but the fact that fair dragons in a paladin deck is probably a sign that it's a dragon paladin. Which the dragon consort, I think, is an amazing card for such deck, to enable such deck. So we're not going to play anything regardless here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to be greedy here. This will make my Twilight Drakes pretty big. Oh, we haven't got the Twilight Whelp here. This is the ideal one drop for this deck, not the not Shires, but I guess the Paladin's okay. So we're playing against another like dragon-ish deck. I could be wrong. Looks like I'm wrong actually. Technician. Twilight Drakes. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to put under pressure here. He can't equality consecrate, so I'm okay with doing this. He could equality pyro, but that's a combo you don't see very often. I'm not sure what the Yeti is doing in his deck though. Maybe he just doesn't have all the cards or something like that, I'm not entirely sure. You can tell, yeah, I'm like in my sleep mode. I kind of moved my computer over to the other side of my room, so the backdrop's a little bit funky. Here you can see my terribly awful looking curtains. What is this? Oh, wow. That's really good. That is actually really good. Okay, so maybe this is an oh, damn. Wow. Value. No, don't do that. What are you doing? Jesus. Jesus Christ. Just played right into that. Ugh. Okay, so this guy just doesn't have a solid deck, is what I'm imagining. It just certainly looks that way. I think next turn is Twilight Drake, Twilight Whelp. I'm okay losing my stuff to equality consecrate here. that's a bit of an issue. But I think the play it's pretty much the same here. Push this up to 5. Trade this way. Of course, I could just Twilight Whelp, do that turn again. But I kind of want to get the Drake down. I think the Drake is more valuable here. So I'm gonna heal this up first. I think that's appropriate. Yeah. This deck is pretty good when you're not facing nothing but Face Hunter, but even against Face Hunter, I've actually not lost too many games against those. Yeah, that's the Consecrate. Looks like it was the top deck as well, so can't feel bad about that. Trade into the Technician. Oh wow. What deck is this? This deck is amazing from him. I am really impressed with this deck. I think I do want to go ahead and Holy Nova here. It's a better play here. Drake. Alright, I think that's the best here. The Drake still dies to True Silver Champion, but if he's going to take further face, I'm okay with that. I have the board control and the card advantage, kind of. Should be 4 cards ahead. It's 5 to 1 2. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, we're about even trading. Yeah, that doesn't bother me. I got the Holy Nova if he doesn't trade. Oh, okay. That doesn't really make too big of a difference here. We'll pull ahead in card advantage by playing the Thought Steal. Okay, so it's one of those kind of swami paladin decks. I doubt he just doesn't have all the cards. To which, well, this is a terrible display of this deck's strength, right? Could be one of those new players that came over from the iPhone. It's really hard to tell. That is one thing that I've heard a lot of people say that a lot of newer players because of the iPhone release. Oh, okay. I think it makes no sense to trade here. Okay, we definitely do this first. Oops, almost messed that up. I think we can go ahead and play this.
Ready, sir.
I don't feel like I want to power word shield any of these. We'll see what he plays here. It's a big guy, then we worry about it. Okay, so he's almost dead. I think I'd have lethal. That's 8, 10, 11, 12. Okay, no, it's not lethal.
Reporting for duty.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
9, 10, 11. No, I think we just push for damage here. We should win next turn. I doubt he can OTK us from this. Double, it's 8, 16. Yeah, if he doubles, it's 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21. So yeah, we're definitely out of range. There's no way he survived. So yeah, we got this in the back here. We're just waiting for him to tap out here. Apparently my friend is watching the script live. So if you guys are a fan of the script in Singapore, but yeah. Looks like this game is about over here. I will be doing the next part of my Command & Conquer either tomorrow or the day after. Yeah, I've been really busy, like I said. What do you do?
Well played.
So yeah, that's that. So that's one of the achievements here. So you can get 4 more wins here. So maybe like a 5 wins kind of video. Right now I'm preparing the videos for upload here.
Anduin versus Garrosh. Victory or death. The light shall bring victory.
This hand would be really nice if I had a dragon. So let's hope we draw into a dragon then. Ah, that's not a dragon. Okay, this is gonna be really awkward here. Because I don't really want to play anything. Oh my god, it's aggro warrior. Okay, that's fine. Aggro warrior is actually really bad against any kind of priest deck. So we should be okay. I think there's more value in doing this here. So. We'll go ahead and do that move instead. I don't mind if he trades off here. If he doesn't trade off, then I practically won this game already. I wonder. Oh, this guy has no idea what he's doing, does he? Which is kind of weird because he's playing the aggro deck, so it feels fairly obvious what you should be doing. Which is basically face, but if he had any idea how to play his deck, he would go ahead and trade off here. Oh, okay, that works as well. I'm going to preserve the health on the minion just because this deck isn't very bursty. It's bursty because of things like Model Strike. So as long as we keep his health high, we should be fine. Like we're always going to have better trades. And once we hit a Holy Nova turn, we're in really good position here. Curious. No, that is kind of how you're supposed to play the deck, I guess. We just find a Drake. This way at least he takes face or he gives up the minion. Okay, so he's gonna preserve his health total, which I think is a mistake actually.
Blood and plunder.
That's a curious choice, but okay. I think we can play the trick here. Yeah, that will put us out of range. I'm not sure if there are any other new tools in this deck. that I'm not aware of. That's fine. Actually, is that fine? I think we want to play safe here. Okay, at this point we're gonna have to be careful of Mortal Strike. Wow, it's actually giving me the health here. Okay. It's gonna be really close here, but it looks like at 6-11 I'm taking this turn. So I'm down to very little. Alright. So that's pretty much how most aggro matchups go against this deck somehow. It gets really low, and then once you stabilize, you just dominate. Dragons have a unique advantage of just being able to trade up most of the time, except for the Zoo Drakes, but the other dragons seem to do pretty fine. Of course, I'll show you guys the deck at the end of the video. Alright, so this is going to be the real face deck challenge here. Obviously, if I don't draw well, I'm not going to win, so we'll see how it goes. We need a 1 drop, if not we're just dead. Right, that's not exactly what I was hoping for. The North Shy is the better card in this matchup, but I don't like this at all. Like, this hand is really bad. But that's fine, I guess. We'll see how it goes. Oh god, you know what? We don't have a choice anymore. If you're lucky, he'll trade into it. Well, if you're lucky, he'll go face, but if he trades into it, we're okay. This is really bad. Missed 2 damage. Now I kind of messed that up. I'm a little on tilt because I'm drawing really poorly here.
Put this apple on your head.
This is gonna be really bad.
Put this apple on your head.
Alright. Okay, you know what? We can't win this. Let's just give up. The hand was just too slow, I think. Didn't get a dragon. We got the Twilight Well without a dragon, so I think it's unavoidable. There's no point playing that out. Cut down the length of this video by quite a bit, right? It's kind of odd here because it rarely goes that poorly for me. I just need like a half decent draw.
Watch your back.
The light shall bring victory.
Wow, this really depends on what kind of rogue this is. Either way, those two are pretty much useless in this matchup. The Valiant's Chosen might be really good. Worst case, it's gonna force a sap if this is mill. And we want him to be sapping like things like 1 drops.
Is someone injured?
This is the I hope he doesn't a backstab play. I could have coined the Power Witch Shield here, but I want to be a bit greedy. And looks like I'm going to be rewarded for it here.
Right away.
I'm going to put under pressure early. In case this is oil, right? If it's oil, you want to put under pressure really quickly. Next turn we just thrown out the Dark Cultist. If this is mill, we're in a lot of trouble because this deck is kind of slow. Like, it does have the Mind Control and the Ysera's. I believe in the first game we saw Onyxia in my hand. Okay, it's one of those decks. 4, 5, 6, 7. How greedy do I want to be here?
Right away.
We'll hold on to Powered Shield. Just because we can buff up the Dark Cultist with that next turn. Thorison is going to be key in this matchup if it is oil, but it doesn't seem to be oil because it has the Auto Barber. It might be some kind of tempo style. So do I. Okay, so maybe it's a max style priest.
Right away.
But I don't really like this, but I'm going to do it anyways. The reason I don't like this is because attack and Blade Flurry completely destroys this. But then again, like, it gets rid of a 4 damage weapon, so I don't mind. Yeah, this is the Blade Flurry play that I was worried about. I already knew it was coming, so it's just the beauty of being a rogue, I guess. Next turn, I think we just Thorison, depending on what he plays. I'm not sure what kind of cards this deck run. It's a bit wonky here. This could be Maligos Rogue, now that I think about it. I was playing around with Mali Rogue, and it looks a bit like this. So we're gonna want to watch our health total here. Getting the Thorison down is key to winning against Valley Rogue, just because you're gonna get so much discounted healing with the Holy Fires and Holy Novas. Okay, no, I'm almost convinced this is a Melee Rogue. I'm pretty convinced it's Melee Rogue. Yeah, it's Melee Rogue. Probably just didn't draw any other burn spells here. Alright, so 2 more wins to go, guys. It's gonna be a slightly longer video by the looks of it. But the daily quest is a long one, like win 7 games here. Not sure if that popped on the screen. Shouldn't have. I only have Hearthstone selected, so. And I'm not sure if I'm speaking really softly here. It's a little warm in my room. Alright, let's see if we get better draws this time. Okay, apparently against 100 I just don't get lucky here. It's every other class I get really lucky. But yeah, this hand is pretty much dead. It's alright if I can draw like a Northshire or the Twilight Web would be a better one, but yeah, Northshire is fine. The reason why I'm okay with Northshire this time around as opposed to the previous game is because he has the coin, so coin knife juggler is bad. Like really bad. If he doesn't have the knife juggler, it'll be fine. In fact, we're gonna get really far ahead if he doesn't have. Oh my god, he doesn't have one. Coin, what's it called? Eagle Horn Bow? Animal Companion. Of course, it's the Heifer. Alright, a bit late to the party here, but that's fine. Okay, there's a really awkward play coming up, which is going to be Twilight Drake. because it's going to be a really small Drake here. Normally you want to circle, get a Noshires to draw a bit for you. Wow, deadly shot. This is really bad. Gonna have a really small Twilight Drake this turn and next turn as well. In fact, I'm not actually convinced I want to play Twilight Drake next turn. You would get that. I don't like this, but I'm feeling too much pressure here. I'm not entirely sure what deck is running. It doesn't seem to be Face Hunter. It's a bit... I wouldn't say it's slower, but it's... well, it kind of is slower. It runs Daily Shot. Maybe this is some kind of Beast Hunter. Really can't tell. Really can't tell. At least he trades appropriately here. Wow.
Well played.
That was really unexpected here. Yeah, I guess we just Thorison then. He's getting a lot of value with his cards here. Granted, I didn't really have a really good hand against what he had, but it's about as good as he can get. Yeah, it's like a Beast Hunter, control Beast Hunter. It's really interesting actually what this is. I've never seen anything quite like it. I'm gonna try and heal out of range here. Oh boy, 7 mana, Ysera. I'm gonna get a free shadow with Death soon. Nice, the Hymen that drops down this turn. He's getting further ahead, but Ysera can help quite a bit here. Can do quite a bit of work. Yeah, this could be one of those free-to-play decks as well. Now that I think about it. Considering all the new iPad, iPhone users and stuff, the phone users. My hair's a bit messy just because like I just got up. You can tell it's like 10 PM here. But you can't see the timing here, it's at the bottom. Let me just, yeah, you can see it right there, right? It's 10 PM. That is an interesting card. I'm not sure what the goal of this is here. I guess it's just to force the trade.
That didn't quite hit the mark.
Not quite what was planned. I must consider.
I think Sylvanas is actually okay here.
I have no time for games.
This is me being really greedy here.
I dream and the world trembles.
Well played. My fate is sealed.
Let none survive.
Yeah, that's how I thought. I'm okay putting under pressure here.
Thank you.
What is our current score here? We lost 2 games, I think. No, you killed Sylvanas first. Yes. What is he doing? You kill Sylvanas first, right? So this buffs the Sylvanas, he's kind of screwed. See, now he has to take more to the face here, which is...
Not quite what was planned.
Well played.
Well played.
Yeah, he watched that really hard, yeah. So yeah, I'm guessing this one was free to play. Guys running around. Got a golden Nox engineer here. And we're gonna go one more game apparently. So I think we've gone 6 games. We're 4-2, if I'm not mistaken. Granted, half of our wins are against free-to-play decks. Let's see if Forsaken will be Forsaken
Shall bring victory.
and annihilated by the Dragon Priest. We need one last win here. This could be it. If it's a free-to-play deck, then it'll probably be a free win. This hand is not great here. It could be a Mech Mage here, considering he has the card back. Means he's probably not new, since it came out this month, right? On the iPhones and stuff. I'm not gonna enjoy this, but
Right away.
this kind of puts it on Frostbolt range. Yeah, so it is a Mech Mage.
I am ready.
Are you ready? Are you sure?
Hello, hello, hello.
Alright, so
The dam.
since we know what it is here. That play wasn't great, but it's really hard to get a better play from this than this one here. Just because we didn't draw a Drake here. I'm guessing that's as good as it's gonna get here. Yeah, so we have to kill off that Black Walker here. What is this thing? Freeze a minion. Terribly curious choice, but okay. Ah, there we go. I'm actually getting really far ahead here. He's not trading well at all. Well at all against my deck. And we already like at 5 mana, so granted that we haven't actually drawn any removal, but at this point, what's the worst thing that could come down? There's a Blast Mage. Doubt he runs Flame Strikes. Though he might. My Mag Mage runs Flame Strikes. Tinkertown, okay. Okay. It's a really curious choice, but wait, what? What the heck was this? Okay, sure. Fireball? Probably. Whoops. Not sure what he was trying to do with that.
Your magic shall not save.
That was a bit of a mistake, I think. Alright, there we go. How to smash Magmate noobs playing casual, right? So let me just show off the deck here. Let me see if there are any cards that needs to be added on here. So yeah, here's the Dragon Priest. This is the first rendition of it, of course. We start off with the Light of Naru, just for a bit of healing here. Just because of all the aggro. This card really makes a difference in this deck. Just because if you're already losing it, this card rarely saves you, but it puts a really interesting tempo play against things like Magmage, as you saw earlier. Hunter is not so much, but it could be useful against Hunter. The thing is, the 2 health on the Light Warden doesn't really make much of a difference. So we've got 2 Power Shields just for card draw. The North Shires are here for card draw as well. The Twilight Whelps are dragons, so it's in there because it's dragons. It's not actually a good card in my opinion, but I really like it. Just because it's a dragon and this is a dragon theme deck, so it's in here. That's for the heck of it. The Iron Beak Owls. Now this one I've debated quite a bit whether I want to put it in here. It's hard to place value over a Spellbreaker or a Silence in this deck here. This is the Silence, and then the Spellbreaker would be not this guy. This one. The Spellbreaker is a bigger body. The Silence is a cheaper spell. But I think the Owl, the reason for why I put the Owl is just because it's kind of like a nice tempo play against aggro. You can do this and then do something else like heal yourself. Sure, you could do that against. You could do that with the Silence as well, the spell Silence, because it's 0. The only thing is that this kind of activates a lot of like funny things like Troxors, and you don't put a body on the board, so I wouldn't put the Silence over the Spellbreaker or the Owl. But you guys can feel free to play around with that. If I had to pick the alternative to this, I would pick the Spellbreaker, just so that you guys know. 2 Shadowwood Depths. This is kind of to get rid of the bigger threats here. You could put in BGH if you really wanted a big another body here. The alternative to the Iron Beak could be a BGH as well. But I prefer Shadowwood Depths. I think they're just a little bit more flexible because 5 attack. It's a lot easier to hit than 7. Most of my decks actually don't run anything more than 7 attack. I don't even play Dr. Boom anymore because everybody runs BGH. This one has Onyx here, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, 2 Shadowwood Depths here. Thought Steal is kind of like for card advantage. It really synergizes well with the Twilight Drakes in this deck. Balance Chosen is just to trade. It's basically a board control. It's a control deck basically. A really slow style control deck here. You could take out Balance Chosen, but I prefer the Balance Chosen. Some people might prefer 2 Thought Steals. Most people actually put 2 Thought Steals in the pre-step. I'm not a fan of that, especially in such an aggro-centric matter. Next we got the, and of course the +1 spell there, which is pretty nice actually. It actually came to play in one of the games earlier if I'm not mistaken. So don't underestimate this card, it's a really good card. Especially if you turn 1 like Twilight Whelp or Northshire, then you coin into it, it's really powerful. We got the 2 Blackwing Technicians. These together with the Dark Cultists are probably the 2 best 3-drops in game. Maybe obviously the Blackwing Technicians is a little bit stronger because it has the potential to be a little bit bigger. The Dark Cultists though, I couldn't decide on which one I wanted, so I just put in both. I don't think you should take out any of these though. This is my opinion. Simple Shadow Madness just for trading. Like this card is basically always a 2-for-1, right? Because you kill one of it, you grab his minion, you run into another one of his minions, they both die, and then if it has a death rattle, you get the death rattle. So in that sense, it's on paper it's minimal 2-for-1. So this kind of this card is a really strong like tempo play in this deck. We have the 2 Twilight Drakes, again with things like Powered Shield, the Northshires, and Thought Steals. This guy can be pretty big, right? I believe the smallest we've seen is the 4/4, which is not terrible. We got the 4/5 stats, the Yeti stats in one of the games, and I believe in one of the early games it was like 8 health, so it's like kind of like a handlock standard. One of the reasons why I was debating putting a Circle of Healing over one of these cards is just because the drakes get really big, and because this is a board control deck, you want to keep like healing your stuff up. But I felt that the hero between the hero power and Holy Nova is good enough, so that's why there's no Circle of Healings here. The 2 Holy Novas, that's your big board clear. We have quite a bit of spell damage here. One with the 2 Azure Drakes, and then another one with the Prophet, the Valence Chosen here. So Azure Drakes, they serve 2 functions. Mostly it's just for card draw, but the spell damage should not be overlooked in this deck, just because there's quite a bit of this deck does run 2 Holy Fires, so it makes Holy Fire like a 6 damage spell, minimal, and then it heals for 5, right, which is a huge difference. So yeah, that's kind of like the Holy Fire is questionable, I would admit, but I really like it just because it heals you out of range against aggro so much. And it's just nice, like it's a 6-drop, so it kills a high main. Sure, you don't kill the 2 little hyenas that are left behind, but at the very least get rid of the high main, which is the main threat here. Whoops, looks like we just disconnected here. Let me see if we can get back in there. Actually, it appears to be online here, so let me see if I can go ahead and get this game running again. This thing here. Okay, yeah. So we just apparently disconnected from Battle.net for some reason. I believe we read the Holy Fires, right? So like I was saying, the Holy Fires, the 5. Usually, the bigger minions have only 5 health in the current constructed meta, so unless you're talking about things like Dr. Bloom and stuff, but most of them are pretty small minions, they're really aggressive, and Holy Fire tends to deal with them pretty well. That's what I want to say here, like Thorson and Sylvanas. You know, these are big threats and they're common in most decks, so are Sludge Belchers and Lothraps. So the Holy Fire one-shots them, basically. Also, it helps deal with like priests, some of their like tougher cards to deal with, like Yeti and stuff. Granted, we don't really want to Holy Fire Yeti, but if you need to, you should. Azure Drake's also really hard to kill, so that's a nice solution to that. So yeah, moving on here, we have Emperor Thaurissan. This is kind of a staple in this deck. I think Emperor Thaurissan is a must in every dragon deck just because of how expensive dragons cost. Basically, if you get a discount, basically it's an auto include in any dragon deck because dragons are really powerful creatures, but they just cost too much. So just by cutting back its cost by 1 mana, you actually kind of really buff it in a way. Needless to say, like you can get some pretty outrageous things like zero costing. I had like a zero cost Shadow with Death. All your 1-drops become zero cost. There's just so much value in Emperor Thaurissan in these kind of really slow decks that it makes like no sense to not include them. But we'll see how the meta goes here. Currently, I really like it in this deck. Sylvanas is just it's not a JP deck if it doesn't have Sylvanas, right? Basically, I've always thought it's the best legendary in the game, maybe even the best card in the game, even after they nerfed it. So that's why she's in here. Just getting that 1 million from them is really powerful here. You could run Dr. Boom over this if you really wanted to, but I think Sylvanas is just even more powerful than Dr. Boom. This is my opinion. I'm sure the pros will say otherwise, but I really like Sylvanas. Onyxia, now this is a really questionable choice in this deck because I was looking for a dragon to put in here because this is a dragon deck, kind of. It's dragon centric, right? And I couldn't find a legendary dragon that I thought would fit in here really well. I was debating between Malygos and Onyxia, but I felt that Onyxia is just slightly better. Let's just look up dragon here. I could be tripping for all I know here. Like, well, I guess Alex Strauss isn't terrible as well, but as a priest you tend to burn your opponent really slowly, so it makes no sense to put Alex Strauss on the priest. Malygos might be alright. Could be definitely this for lols, but just to make it a little bit more consistent, I think Onyxia is a little stronger in this deck. It's because the whelps kind of trade, can help you trade. And it auto fills your board, so things like MC techs are more likely to just take a whelp, that kind of thing. Of course, it sucks against AOE. Like any AOE, even like Arcane Explosion will kill it, right? So, will basically wipe out all the whelps. Is what I'm trying to say here. So it's a debate between Malygos and Onyxia. There is the new dragon that will be coming out, I believe here. Surely not. Right, the Hungry Dragon might be worth putting in here. Though I think once the set is fully released here, I'll be playing around with Nefarian or Cro-Magnus. I'm slightly fearing Cro-Magnus just because I like the body a little better. It's cheaper than Nefarian and it's dodges the BGH, so I'm guessing the replacement to Onyxia would be the Nefarian. But that remains to be seen though. It's really hard to tell how this deck will look after all the cards are released here, but I'm digging Cro-Magnus here. And then Ysera, I think regardless of what dragon deck you're playing, Ysera is still the best dragon in the game. This deck, because of how it plays, you're usually just trading and healing yourself, and healing your minions and healing yourself. So you run out of cards, basically. Like your hand is usually really small, unless you get like the dream, like Noshire opening, and then you draw. But even then, you run out. Your deck burns really fast, and then you run out of cards to play. So Ysera is kind of like the ultimate end-all card for this deck, just because it tops up your deck with cards that that basically makes your deck like more than a 30 card deck, is what I'm trying to say. Which is why I really like Cro-Magnus, because I think based on how powerful some of these cards are, Cro-Magnus would really benefit this deck here, especially things like Thaurissan and Holy Nova and stuff like this. In this deck in particular, it gives you so much value and makes your Drakes so much bigger in the late game, where Twilight Drakes usually tend to suck because your hand tends to get smaller the later the game goes. So Cro-Magnus is kind of like the be-all end-all together with Ysera here. The whole point, like the only reason why Thoughtsteel is in this deck is just so that you can add on more cards so that your hand isn't empty, which is a huge deal with this deck. As you can tell throughout most of the game, my hand was usually being dumped fairly quickly here. The Drakes rarely get big, the Twilight Drakes that is. So Cro-Magnus and Ysera are essential together with Thoughtsteel to just keep topping up your hand. So some replacements for you guys that don't have all the legendaries now. Emperor Thaurissan's a free legendary, so I'm not gonna look just get the expansion, guys. Take forever if you have to. Just get the expansion and then get Thaurissan here. He's indispensable in this deck. Everything else can be replaced, except for Thaurissan because there's no card quite like him in this game. But if you really had to get like Lothab or something or Sludge Belchers, Light and Naru, this is a common card. I mean, there's no reason why you can't get this here. Same for the Power Word Shield, that's basic. Nosha is a basic. Twilight Whelp you get free, so I'm not going to go into that. North, the Iron Peak Owl, the replacement to this would be Silence or Spellbreaker. I'm not sure if Spellbreaker is actually a free card here. Where is the Silence again? Right, this is the replacement. The secondary replacement, yeah. Right, this is a replacement if you don't have Iron Beak Owl. But considering that you both, what the heck is going on here? Jesus Christ. Just give me a second, guys. For some reason I keep disconnecting here. So yeah, this video has actually gone on really long here. Yeah, I know I got disconnected. The thing is, we're not actually disconnected because we're actually online here. Alright, so let's just go through the replacements really quickly here. Give me a second here. Alright. So yeah, the replacement for the Owl would be Spellbreaker or Silence. Shadow Word Death is free, no excuses there. Thoughtsteel is relatively cheap. No excuses here. Balance Chosen is cheap, no excuses. This is free, no excuses. If you had to change this, I'll put in BGH or something like that. Or Shadow Word Pain. You just want more removal spells. Thoughtsteel, you can't replace this card just based on what it's going to do. But if you really had to, I'll put in Circle of Healing for the earlier game. Or things like, what's it called? The Injured Blade Masters, just because there's some kind of synergy with Circle of Healings that you can pull off. Dark Cultist is free. If you don't have it for whatever reason, then you can go ahead and get the Earthen Ring Farseers. I think it's a nice substitute for this. Shadow Madness, if you're going to replace Shadow Madness, I guess you have to put in more taunts. Things like Sentient Shield Masters are pretty nice. Twilight Drakes, the replacement for Twilight Drakes would be the Sentient Shield Masters. And then the Azure Drake replacements would be the Sludge Belchers. Holy Fire replacements would be Lothab. Well, actually, these three cards can be swapped out with Lothab and Sludge Belchers. If you really want to make this a little bit faster, you could put in things like Pilot Shredders, but it's going to play really differently here. This deck is sculpted to build. It's built to play a certain way, and this setup works really well for that playstyle. Sylvanas is indispensable here. I guess you could play a second Mind Control. At one point, I actually did have 2 Mind Controls instead of Onyxia. So yeah, basically everything from here on, except for Mind Control, you replace with like Boulder Fist Ogres and any other big minions that you can put in here. I prefer the Boulder Fist Ogres just because they're cheaper and everybody knows how much value they are, just in terms of pure stats here. Of course, Current can be considered in this deck as well. I actually really like Current in Priest. I'm not sure if there's any other alternatives that you could put in here. Black Knight is an alternative. Dr. Boom is definitely worth mentioning as well. Toshli is really strong, but there's no synergy with the spare parts, so there's no point here. Ren Blackhand is just terrible, don't bother that. Trogzor is a really good replacement for any of these guys here. Now, not Ysera, like there's no card that can replace Ysera, but if you had to replace one of these guys, you could put in Trogzor as a replacement. It's a nice big body. Your 4 Reaper is really powerful in Priest, just because you can keep healing it up. If you run the versions that I mentioned with Circle of Healing, this guy can kill so many minions, it's ridiculous. KT, of course, is a really powerful choice, so is Ragnaros. Sneeds, Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza doesn't fit in this deck, like I mentioned, because you kind of want to slow burn your opponent down. Sneeds is a pretty decent replacement for one of these guys. And then I guess Malagos could be considered as well. The Giants don't fit in this deck at all. There's no synergy there. I'm not sure about Major Domo here. I still haven't played with this guy. I mean, I unlocked him and I haven't actually tried playing with him. I've been really just too busy to try here. So yeah, that's JP's Dragon Priest, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave a comment in the if you feel to leave your questions in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So that'll be all for me for this video, guys. This is JP signing out.